Hello everybody, my name is Kyle Kelk and welcome to my week 2 video review for AVF 1309. I am going to start out by showing my app in the wonderful Android emulator. I've decided that from this point on I will only speak good of the emulator, as this week I think the Android gods were a little bit angry with me for speaking such ill will towards their emulator. It gave me more than a couple issues this week. So we'll start off by getting the app up and running. As you can see, the actual main page of the emulator works quite well. There's my little app hidden away in the corner. Still using the default icon, which at some point I'm going to change into my own. I'm hoping this coming week I'll have some time to do that. So as we wait for this to load, this week I found some, not so much in the coding aspect, anything too difficult. The CSS is not my strongest suit. I'm not afraid to admit that, and I know I have more work I need to do it with it. And because I'm a perfectionist, it bugs me when things don't quite work out the way I want them to. But at some point I have to accept that sometimes it's just going to be the way it is. As you can see right now, I have all my native features again up here. None of it works yet. That'll be this coming week. I'll get all those working. I'll quickly go down, show all my research discussions are still here. Let's click on, hopefully, the check your weather once this stops randomly scrolling. So we'll go check our weather. You'll see it loads up. And you have to click this button to load. It doesn't default load, which is how I wanted it to be. You have to actually click a button. And as you can see now, it pulls out the API and displays all the information I want it to. So we got our locations, conditions, temperature, wind, humidity, and I think it's quite informative to let the user as well know when this was last updated. Not that the information they're viewing was from 3 weeks ago. In the future, I'm going to hopefully implement where you can enter your location and it'll come up with your current conditions, as well as doing an hour-by-hour summary of your weather, so you can know going forward what it's going to be like outside. So now if we click on Instagram, this one might take a little while to load because you'll see Y coming up here. So the JavaScript this week, as this loads, actually was not too bad. I actually find myself much more comfortable with JavaScript than I do for the CSS and whatnot. So getting all of this to load up wasn't that bad. I found it quite easy. Getting it to display how I wanted it to, that's an entirely different matter. As you can see, I have it actually default load images, so a user doesn't actually have to click around, to pop up images. So this right now, this all is hard coded in as just sports images. So we'll scroll back up and I'll show off the search. So for the sake of the NFL game tonight, I'll actually do the Jets on the emulator, since I don't like the Jets, so they get the bad emulator. And you click on your search. Here it comes. Oh, look at that. And your search comes up, exactly what you have. I have down here your username and how many likes it has. I figured the likes would be just a nice little addition. And for a game day app, that's why I have sports as the default. And same with the weather API, that's why I have the weather in here. For a game day app, you'd probably want to know the weather. And Instagram, in the future, I'd like to be able to let the user take pictures at the game, instantly upload them to Instagram, so it all kind of seamlessly goes together. Now I'll just quickly show it off in the browser, show a little bit of the responsive design here. So click search Instagram. So you'll see my browser isn't quite all the way open. There we go. So at a certain width, it has actually a 2-column display. And as you shrink down, it goes into the single column, and as you shrink down more, then the images start to resize themselves. And that is it for my demonstration for the browser and the Android emulator. I'll be back with the iOS on the iPad in just a minute. So I'm just going to quickly show off that my app is on my iPad, and if you click it, it will load up. And now I'm going to switch over to Reflector to make this a whole lot easier to show you all the little nuances I have in the iPad app. So as you can see here, right now I have my iPad in portrait view, and it has a nice grass background. I figure game day app, grass, football, baseball, lots of sports. There's, outside, lots of grass. So I thought it was a very fitting background for my app. So again, let's check our weather. We'll load in, tap on load weather, and there you see it. Once again, the weather loads in nicely into the app. We'll click back, and this time, just to show off some of the CSS I've done, if we flip the iPad into landscape, you'll see the background now changes into the image of a baseball field. So if we click on Instagram, as you can see, the default images still load in. Nice two-columned approach. So everything's looking good there. Now if we try and search, so let's just search for the Patriots. And you go, click search images. There you go. We got the images loading in of the New England Patriots, or at least what people tag as Patriots. And now if we quickly flip back to the portrait view, you'll see the background changes back into the nice grass background. And you'll also notice that the images are now in one column and display just perfectly. And again, if we quickly switch back to our landscape mode, it comes back, switches background, and you're back into the two-column grid, and everything's looking good in the application. Again, none of the native features work. That will be all next week. If we want to, week 2, I have done week 2's discussion, so that loads in. Other than that, I hope everyone had a good week 2, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Thank you very much.